Good evening, Fiji, and welcome to For the Record. This is FBC's new current affairs program that not only highlights issues pertinent to our country and all Fijians, but we will also meet the people behind the decisions that may impact the course of your daily lives. And with us this evening is the Chief Executive Officer of the Land Transport Authority, Mr. Naisa Tuinadeva. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Peveli.
Thank you, Mr. Tuinadeva, for joining us on our very first show. Now, you have been with the LTA for about 10 years, 3 years as its CEO. Now, what would you say is the two major achievements that you're most proud of?
The review of the Land Transport Act and Regulation, that is one of the major tasks given to us by the authority. And, we've done that, and we've gone as far as, the Solicitor General's office in terms of vetting, and it's now back with us. The other one is, how we have been aligning our policies really so we can be focusing on a strategic direction, which is to steer Fiji safely. Okay. Apart from the many, many other projects and the work that we have done, these are the two that, I'd like to say that we are really proud of, and a lot of milestone too in that.
Well, it's some very good work that you've done, but the burning question is the buses. Yes, in spite of the 2008 fatal bus fires and the recent ones that we've just experienced. What is LTA doing to make these checks with these bus companies?
Yeah, the checkings or the certificate of fitness for our PSV vehicles, including the buses, it's a very fine-tuned one where lots of emphasis is placed on safety and public safety. And for the cases that we have just came across in the past few years and months on these burning buses, we found out that it's really nothing really to do with our inspection or process of fitness. When we do fitness, we certify that the vehicle at that stage and that point in time is fit to go back on the road. Now, it's the maintenance or the sustaining of this fitness that becomes an issue with us, whereby it becomes the responsibility of the operator or the vehicle owner to ensure that this fitness remains, from a point of fitness to another point of fitness. Now, this is what we have been, trying to, not only educating or carrying out awareness on, but also to help, especially the bus operators, in understanding on the kind of program they use to sustain this fitness.
But isn't it a coincidence that so many bus fires have been happening, just in the recent years? We never used to have this problem before.
That's correct. That's a question that most people are asking in the past years, and how come this is just coming up for the last 2 years, and even for the last few months, where we have been facing a lot of burning or burns on buses. Yeah, there are issues too that we found out. Especially regarding the tampering of the electrical system. See, we go back to the number of fires in the past, and even the recent one. One of the major findings here is how the electrical system has been tampered. I mentioned about, when they do come in for the inspection, they've been checked, a certificate of fitness has been awarded or issued, but then there are other work done, after these buses, after they leave the center for the inspection, for example, the tampering of the system, and that is what we found out.
Well, there's a lot of spot checks for cars, yeah? But what about the buses? Why isn't there enough spot checks on the buses?
Yeah, we do have procedures here as for buses. It's also an ongoing spot checks that we do carry out. We do our fleet inspection, we do depot checks, even on roadside checks, we do that kind of thing. But then there are other, factors being considered. For example, sometimes it becomes very, very inconvenient on the road, not for the traveling public and for these operators, and even for other road users that, we carry out this kind of spot check. But yes, for a question on whether we do spot checks or not, no, we are very, very much into that kind of work.
So what you're saying on the record is that the reason for these fires are the mechanical, technical, the tampering of the wires.
Yeah, what I'm saying, when these buses do come in for their certificate of fitness, we take them through the process, the check process. There are about 80 plus components checked on buses or on PSV. And when we ensure that everything is perfect, okay, and when we give them the certificate of fitness, somewhere along the line, somewhere back there, that some tempering work, additional devices, additional accessories been included, like extra lights, like this big boom box, music instruments and all, and some other items, which overloads the electrical system, ending up in the short circuit that creates the kind of spark that is an element towards a fire.
Now, the parents of some students, yeah, I mean, this is not just a one-off incident. We've heard it for some time now. Because of these fires, are not sending their children on these buses, and this is directly contradicting what government is trying to do in terms of providing free bus fares.
Yeah, bus service is still the safest from our assessment. We still have lots of confidence on our on our bus industry, but it's only those few areas that we are working hard together with the Bus Operators Association. We have included the National Fire Authority into this on how we really can bring back that confidence. We really cannot blame the parents when they start to think that way. Everybody's concerned with the safety, but the important thing in that kind of incident is for the authority really to identify the cause of problem, which we have done, and we are putting all sorts of a solution into this on what we believe will take away any other cases in the future on bus fire.
All right. So can you say on the show tonight, can you reassure the public, the traveling public, that there will be no more bus fires?
Well, bus fires happen everywhere in the world. Even with the best system in place for safety, it still happens. But I can assure the public tonight, from what we have put down.
But the number of bus fires recently is
correct.
just not normal.
Yeah, I know. It's really unfortunate that this thing came up, together. Too many in a very short span of time, and I know big questions coming up on that. Yeah, but like I said, you're gonna be there to pinpoint the cause of this problem, and you're gonna come up with solutions, and you're still gonna remain focused on that. And that is what we are saying, that yes, we are happy.
Thank you, Mr. Trinidad. Unfortunately, we're running out of break for this segment, but we'll be right back after this short break with more for On the Record. Welcome back to For the Record. We are with the CEO of Land Transport Authority, Mr. Naisat Dinadeva. Now, earlier before the break, we were continuing with the bus fires. Now, I'd just like to, before we wrap up the issue, can you give an assurance to parents this evening that it is safe to send their children on the buses?
We would like to assure the the public and the whole the traveling public and even the parents on this matter. While we cannot rule out completely any bus fire or any vehicle fire, what we are seeing right now, we've been working on this problem for quite some times now, and we are confident, together with the bus operators, together with the National Fire Authority, whom we partner us on this work, that our buses, they are safe. We are looking into every small gaps that we believe that can cause another fire. We are trying to address that through a proper maintenance program that we have introduced with the bus operators, and also how we can continue, to detail our inspection process together with spot checks.
So with that, you're saying that you're putting a cap to this mechanical problem, tempering problem?
Well, when this problem came about some months ago, the focus was all on this. So that's what we've been doing. We've been consulting people. We've been trying to get a program. We go back to the respective depots and garages of these bus operators. We work with them day and night in trying to see where and what else is there for us to do, just to improve.
Is this linked to the electric ticketing machines?
For the few fires that happened, there's nothing there. We can confirm that through our investigation. It's nothing to do with either the ticketing. But most of these, or a couple of that one that we have identified, is to do with some tempering on the electrical system.
So they were tampering with
There was some tampering.
with the electronic ticketing?
Not with electronic ticketing. The three I can recall right now is to do with with the music system, the boombox, and these high voltage amplifiers, or plays by whether it's a driver or the operator, but somebody did tamper that.
How many bus companies have been brought to task?
Well, when this happened, we have to audit the whole fleet in Fiji. We went through all regions and the country throughout and checking on all the 1,000+ buses running on our roads, together with all the companies. Two of those bus companies, as many of you will remember, that one was put out of the road completely as we went through the fleet audit. But as for the check, really, we did a fleet check across the board.
Okay. Now, all buses in Fiji, have they all been checked with that audit?
Even before these fire incidents, we checked all buses in Fiji. They always come in for their annual inspection. Some of them are being checked 6 monthly, and even before that, and a fitness audit, which is always a part of LTA program. We have been doing that many years ago, and it still continue now.
So we can't totally rule out the fires, yes?
Even
with these checks.
With checks, even with the best standard, we say they are safe. They are safe. When we give a certificate of fitness, these buses are safe. Accidents and incidents as such do happen, and something we cannot say 100% that's totally up. And it could be due to some kind of negligence somewhere along the line. But from LTA perspective, from our standpoint, when we carry out the fitness process, we are sure, we are positive, yes, that the bus is safe to go on the road.
So on the record this evening, you can say that this has gone through the audit throughout all buses in Fiji.
We have done that, Peveli. We are confident. The system is a good one that we have. It's benchmarked to international practice and international safety procedures, and we are happy with it.
Now, another common argument with motorists is that when they see LTA officers doing their job, they always say they're just out there to make money. Now, we understand that, like any other organization, the LTA needs to perform and to maintain their operations, needs to also perform financially, just like any other organization, to cover their operational costs. Now, is there a quota to meet for LTA officers?
Really, let me put it this way. If this is up to us or how we run the organization, we would prefer to remain as a legislator. Let somebody else do the enforcement. That is the part that becomes weird to some, because we draw the legislation. We are the legislator. We put the rule, and we go out there and do enforce the rule at the same time. It's very hard to believe some people still got negative views about this. But it's not about money making here. It's about enforcing the law. See, if we're going to have all these sets of regulations and safety practices that we come about with our policies and our laws, and if we fail in the enforcement, then there's no point having those laws. You're going to be vigilant. You're going to be tough on enforcing the law, and that is, unfortunately, has been seen as some kind of a different force together from LTA in doing that. But it's not about money.
But surely, you as an organization, financially, you need to meet, the costs.
Yeah, the enforcement money coming through our policing and enforcing the law, it's a very small bit, not that one that we can live with. Yeah, but we have many other activities like vehicle registration, the driving, the areas where we work on the training and the kind of courses that we do, where we're getting quite a lot of money. But, our focus on the road when doing enforcement work is road safety.
Okay, but your budget, are you you need to have, with the budget, it's based on the revenue that you make each year. Now, do you meet that with that annually?
LTA, we need to survive. We need to run. We got a budget allocation. In terms of our revenue that we need to generate. The operations. We need to roll. We need to sustain, and that's how we've been living with.
Can you define revenue?
Well, it costs the authority right now about 13 million a year to run our operations. If you want to make the road safe, if you want to, know that we have this life saving work on the road, there's a cost that comes with that. And yes, so we have that kind of money to pay for our work, our operations.
Okay, in the last financial year, in the last financial year, how much money how much revenue did LTA make?
Through our activities, we have quite a number of revenue lines with us. For a year, we've been making around 28,
give us
29
a
million,
ballpark figure.
about 30 million a year.
Through fines?
Not fine.
Okay.
Fine, like I said, it's the smallest bit, the smallest portion of this. We get our revenues,
How much would that be?
Well, for fine, it's only about 2 to 3 million a year that we get through our...
Of the 30 million?
Yeah, of the 30 million.
Okay, could you increase it?
Well, like I said, it's not about, when you really want to become, tough, you really want to have the deterrent out there, to crack down on these habitual offenders and dangerous driving on the roads, then of course, the fine is an area we would like to, you will be looking at. It becomes more harsher, and you will know that of course, it will become, a penalty itself where people that break the laws, they learn from paying that. It's very important that we also look.
We'll talk more on that, and also more fines, more revenue for LTA, right? We'll talk more after this short break. Welcome back. This is For the Record, and with us we continue our discussion with the CEO of the Land Transport Authority, Mr. Naisatu Nadeba. Now, over the past few years, we've been working very closely with the Fiji Police Force. Are you happy with the support that the Fiji Police Force is giving you?
Well, our partnership with the police is a very important one. We really treasure, we value this partnership. Police is very much part of our enforcement work. Under the Act, which is one of the functions for LTA, that in any enforcement work, it should be done in consultation with the Commissioner of Police. And we have our own constraints. We have our own limitation.
Has the support been adequate?
The support from the police has been, a great one. We have enjoyed working together in the past years. We have achieved a lot through our partnership with police. We have problems with our manpower. There are about 240 laws to enforce under our Act, and it's very hard for us. We got only around 35 enforcement officers joined, while the police, they have more than us. And it's important that we put our fronts together if we are to become more effective.
There were times that when the LTA were not happy or not pleased with the Fiji Police Force. What's changed now?
I cannot remember that, and there's nothing from from us on that.
In terms of support?
Well, so support is always there. Support is always there with the police. I'm trying not to pull somebody's leg here, but not all. It's always there. Police is, they work 24/7 while we work only on 8 hours, 7.5 hours a day. They work from Monday to Sunday, but we only do it from Monday to. So this is, it's a kind of partnership where we have to be strategic with what we do. And for us, moving forward, police is very, very important part of our partnership.
Okay. Are you worried that not enough is being done to police the increase in breaking those regulations?
I got I got my concerns on this. I do believe that there's not enough work done. We still have these challenges with us. Like I said, 240 offenses to be police is not an easy job. We got problems to do with the traveling public as well. We look into the fatality that is coming around now, even apart from motorists and apart from vehicles and apart from drivers. Then you have the traveling public to worry about the passengers and the pedestrians. So we still need to do a lot of work on this area. And that is why I said earlier on
that there are people, and the public, and there are people that continue to break these road rules. And how is enforcement being done for those regular rule breakers?
Yeah, the mentality and the behavior is not really improving to the rate that we have anticipated. and that is why I said that a lot of work to be done. We're aiming to increase and double our awareness, our public education programs, our campaigns. You know, you cannot just blame, not blame, the public cannot be blamed like that. You need to educate them. And that it becomes another bigger responsibility apart from enforcing the law. If you want to become effective in enforcing the law in the long run, then you have to start from awareness again. They have to be taught, they have to be explained, they have to be educated on the areas of road safety.
Okay, so don't you think that it would be one of the more direct ways to hit them is to hit them in the pocket? Give them harsher penalties. They're breaking the law.
Correct. Yes, the harsher penalty is, you know, it's a very effective one. But like I said, you're going to do it on the long run, then you need to go back and educate the public. Yes, these are the things that you need to observe concurrently, you know, in parallel. And I do agree with that.
Okay. Now, it's not as like the motorists don't know about it. Yes? They continue to break these rules and regulations. What about the LTA officers? Are they, you know, how is that message coming across in terms of awareness too? I mean, can you assure that you're following what you really want to follow, or could there be improvement?
We have put down, you know, we have our plans under our, you know, our annual corporate plan on how we deal with this. You know, we're looking into the non-compliance from motorists is always a worrying trend with us. We look into the fatality while we were able to contain this. You know, we went past that record last year, but even in the number of bookings that we're still facing right now is telling us a different message, that there are still a lot of habitual offenders on the road, and those, you know, they do not respect the law. So yes, we are dealing with that from all angles, or on all the windows. We believe that we will need to use to change the behavior, to change the attitude of our drivers. And like we have said, that the harsher penalty, you know, that becomes a good deterrent, but then educating the public is another one. You know, increasing our enforcement is another one. Our presence on the road is always important, and that is another area. And even we are going high-tech now to try and assist us.
With all this awareness, yeah, we still see buses with lots of black smoke. You know, we still have cars. We have the question, you know, is there a regulation for the life of vehicles on Fiji roads? And all this, what kind of, you know, what more can be done?
Yeah, we do not have any regulation now, you know, in terms of dictating a cut-off age on vehicles. We you know, we merely sit on what we call as a fitness basis of a vehicle. We have you know, the choice under the empowered to us under the law, where we make decision if the vehicle is to be deregistered completely. But we are looking into that as a way forward. You know, the cut-off age on the different categories of vehicles, which is a very, very important one too, that we might start exploring and try to put that in our regulation.
But in the meantime, you know, the environment is kind of suffering.
Yeah, I know.
Are you satisfied with the level of service?
On the environment side, on how we have been putting emphasis on this, you know, it's like smoky vehicles. We are working towards that direction now. You know, we're getting kind of devices to help us.
So, are you satisfied with the level of service that LTA provides?
At this stage, we are working harder. We are trying our best to do that. I would say at this stage, you know, on the kind of resources we have, I'm happy. But I know that there's still a lot of work to be done.
If you do fix something, you know, for LTA's major problems, what would it be?
Yeah, you know, getting our like I said, our laws in place, first of all, you know, that covers all areas of our enforcement and even the areas of our, you know, educating the public. Our vision is quite clear and simple here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunadev. Unfortunately, we've run out of time on this evening's show. But that's all the time that we have for tonight. But please, again, join us next week for another in-depth look at yet another issue that affects us all. Thank you, Mr. Tunadev, for being with us this evening. And if you have questions or would like to send us your views, please do so on fortherecord@fbc.com.fj. And until next week, good night, Fiji.